Today has been absolutely packed with developments for XRP and Ripple. From a viral rumor that caught the attention of the entire crypto community to major on-chain milestones, technical breakout signals, and the latest in Ripple's ongoing legal battle with the SEC. This is one of those days where everything seems to be moving at once. If you're holding XRP, thinking about buying, or just following the crypto space closely, this is the update you need. Let's start with the biggest buzz of the day, the XRP burn rumor. Earlier this morning, a post started gaining traction on X, formerly Twitter, claiming that Ripple was going to burn 10% of the total XRP supply. That would be 10 billion tokens gone. The claim suggested that this move would send XRP skyrocketing, with some users throwing out wild predictions of $125 per coin. As you'd expect, that kind of news spread like wildfire. People started talking, reposting, speculating, and within hours the entire community was in full-on hype mode. But let's pump the brakes for a second, because none of that is true. Ripple has not announced any such burn. And more importantly, the way XRP works doesn't even make that scenario realistic. XRP does have a burn mechanism, but it's automatic and built into the network. Every time you make a transaction using XRP, a tiny amount of the token is destroyed as a fee. Since the launch of the network, only about 14 million XRP have been burned in total. 14 million, not 10 billion. That's less than 0.015% of the total supply. So while burn mechanisms do exist in XRP's design, they're not used for supply shocks like what we've seen with some other tokens. The idea that Ripple would suddenly decide to burn 10% of the supply to boost the price is pure fiction. There's no evidence behind it, and it's not something that aligns with Ripple's strategy or the way the XRP ledger operates. Now that we've cleared that up, let's move on to some real, verifiable data. And this is where things actually get interesting. Today, XRP hit a major on-chain milestone. For the first time in its history, there are now over 2,700 wallets that each hold at least 1 million XRP. That means more whales and large-scale holders are entering the game. But it's not just the whales. Daily active addresses on the XRP ledger have surged as well, reaching an average of around 295,000 per day. That's a massive jump from the usual 35,000 to 40,000 range we saw just a few months ago. That's more than a 600% increase in user activity. This kind of movement tells us two things. First, institutional and high net worth players are clearly positioning themselves. They're not just speculating, they're building sizable positions in XRP. Second, retail interest and utility are growing fast. More people are transacting, more addresses are becoming active, and the network is experiencing real usage. This isn't hype, it's blockchain data, and it's the kind of data that often leads price action, not the other way around. Speaking of price action, let's look at the technicals. XRP is currently trading within a falling wedge formation, which is a classic bullish pattern. There's also evidence of a symmetrical triangle forming, suggesting that XRP could be approaching a key breakout point. Technical analysts are projecting that if XRP manages to break out of this range, the next resistance could be around $3 and possibly as high as $3.12 in the medium term. This, of course, depends on volume, momentum, and confirmation of the breakout, but the setup is there. And it's not just the charts. Open interest in XRP derivatives has surged past $4 billion, which means traders are actively placing bets on future movement. This kind of volume, combined with a bullish technical structure and growing whale activity, is often a recipe for significant price action. Now let's talk about the legal battle, Ripple versus the SEC. Today we learned that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals has agreed to pause any appeals until August 15th. That gives Judge Torres more time to review the latest joint request from Ripple and the SEC. In that request, Ripple is asking the court to lift the existing ban on institutional sales of XRP and to reduce the proposed penalty down to $50 million. For context, The SEC originally wanted over $2 billion in penalties. So this is a huge reduction, and the fact that both parties are negotiating terms together could be a sign that this case is finally winding down. Legal experts are now saying we could get a final decision on this within days or weeks. And historically, Judge Torres has moved quickly on similar filings. If a favorable ruling comes down, especially one that fully clears the way for Ripple's institutional sales of XRP, we could see a very real impact on market confidence and demand. But there's also been some forward-looking speculation around Ripple's potential involvement in replacing SWIFT for international payments. One analyst broke down what it would look like if Ripple were to handle even a small percentage, say 14% of SWIFT's current volume. That's around $4.2 trillion annually. The idea is that XRP's current supply could easily handle that level of volume, especially given its rapid settlement time and low cost per transaction. Now, to be clear, this isn't confirmed, but the fact that analysts are modeling these kinds of scenarios shows just how much potential some people see in Ripple's infrastructure. Whether it's SWIFT or some other cross-border system, the idea of XRP playing a central role in global payments is gaining more traction. And there's more. Zebec Network just launched a new rewards campaign aimed at XRP holders. If you're verified on Uphold and hold at least $50,000 in XRP, you may be eligible to receive a portion of a $100,000 pool in ZBCN tokens. It's part of a larger push to reward long-term holders and possibly to build cross-platform utility between Ripple and other blockchain projects. There have even been rumors of a partnership in the works between Zebec and Ripple, though nothing has been officially announced yet. Still, it's another sign that XRP is gaining influence beyond its own ecosystem. What does all of this mean? In short, while the burn rumor was false, today was far from quiet. We saw historic growth in whale activity and wallet adoption. We got signals that XRP might be nearing a major breakout on the charts. We got new momentum in the legal case with the SEC that could clear a massive hurdle in Ripple's path. And we're seeing growing recognition of XRP's potential to support large-scale financial infrastructure. Add to that some new incentive programs and rising on-chain activity, and you've got a picture of a project that's not only holding strong, but picking up serious steam. That if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button. It helps the channel and keeps this kind of content flowing. And if you want daily updates on XRP, Ripple, and the broader crypto markets, make sure to subscribe. I'll keep you posted on every major development, every chart shift, and every opportunity in this fast-moving space. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.